And so they were ancient vines, and they'd actually been in New Mexico for 400 years. And then Prohibition came, and most of the vines were just torn out. But a few people hung on to like heirloom vines, and after Prohibition ended, then they had the job of reproducing the vines. But now they had to start from scratch again, and because the vines that had been in the ground for a long time, they had literally been producing for centuries. So God's not anti-production. It's the question is what exactly is the production? What's the fruit?
For a grape, the things that go into making a very complex, beautiful grape are actually hardship. It's actually having just enough sun. It's actually having cool temperatures in the later half of the ripening season, which, like for us, like the cool temperatures, that sounds like a bad thing. Vineyard owners want are not big, fat, juicy grapes. They want small,
Flavorful.
flavorful, full of sugar, full of intensity. He doesn't say that there's no grapes. He doesn't say that the vineyard is producing no fruit. It says that it's producing bad fruit. Bad grapes are flavorless grapes. Bad grapes are ones that you could not use to create the end product, which is complexity.
Yeah, it would be a very bland wine, basically.
Very bland. It would be sugar water.
Yeah, which is probably a good description of 21st century American religion.
I think it's probably also a good description of what uh what Isaiah is addressing here. He's
Yeah,
talking about justice. Yeah, and here's the thing: justice is hard work. You you sacrificing your own that's what it ultimately means. To create a just world, you as a person of privilege have to sacrifice your own peace. You
yeah.
have to sacrifice your own stability, your own platform, your own position, your own power. But that's not what we want to do.
Your own resources.
Exactly.
It's much easier to look the other way.
Well, especially when you have a deal to join your field to the next field.
Yeah, you've got stuff going on, and uh, I think implicit in that description is that you're taking somebody else's field.
Exactly. That's so implicit it's almost explicit.
Mhm. Yeah, you're expanding your field, and so you're buying, forcing, getting people in power to accept your bribe, to look the other way, to
Well,
expand your field, and you're taking somebody else's produce away from them.
you got to understand Jewish law provided for land to stay in the ancestral family for forever.
Hmm.
So if you're taking over someone else's land, you're not only taking their productivity, but you're violating this covenant. Like
Yeah.
this covenant of making sure that everybody has enough.
So good governance means that people, what belongs to people stays in their own hands. It's not taken, it's not stolen from them. If you do that sort of thing, you do end up alone. It's almost like we have two pictures. We have a picture of a community where people are sharing and enjoying. They're all working hard. We don't have lazy people. I mean, I'm sure we have some people who can't work for if through injury or other issues, but we do have people who are working and producing. But everybody has their own, and there's a sense of community where we can enjoy not only our stuff, but we can enjoy each other. Whereas if you're taking from other people, then you're alone. If you're adding field to field, then you end up alone. And if you're alone, you're miserable. And you're separated from God, you're separated from your fellow man. And that seems to be, those things all seem to be part and parcel of God's complaint against Israel is, by the way, while you're producing, while you're paving paradise, you're also running over somebody else's forest. And you might have a lot, you might be rich, but you're alone. And who wants to be alone? Let's jump ahead to Jesus's metaphor about fruitfulness, and I'm going to read out of John 15 and just invite you to comment. I'm the true vine. My Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word I've spoken to you. Remain in me, and I also remain in you. Interesting picture of community and reciprocity here between the vine and the branches. No branch can bear fruit by itself; it must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. He's talking about fruitfulness, which of course is the topic today, and he's talking about connectedness with him. And then I won't read it, but he goes into, fathers love me, I love you, so love each other. So there seems to be a lot of similar themes here. You're actually there's community happening here. You're loving each other. You're loving God. You're connected to me. You're connected to each other. And by the way, you're not servants anymore. You're friends. And whatever you ask in that context, whatever you ask, you'll get. One of the wild instances of God's willingness to provide what we ask. The idea here is we're in community together and we're asking something together. We're getting ready to do a day of prayer and fasting at the Vineyard, at our Vineyard, asking for the next stage of development for our church, and whatever that means. But we're doing it together. It's like, and there's a sense of if we don't do it together, it's not going to happen. So why don't we come together and do that?
The pruning is like a artificially imposed hardship, because the plant is going to naturally just want to produce the biggest plant possible, which the biggest plant possible doesn't produce good grapes. That's why they prune.